it's always is a chance there, right? We'll see, but always is a chance there, and we're here to make the best deals, and always a chance.
Canelo Alvarez fuels speculation of a potential fight with Terence Crawford, stating there's always a chance for the best opportunities and deals. Pound-for-pound champion Terence Crawford recently took to social media and sent a subliminal message to Canelo Alvarez about their potential showdown.
Happy birthday, Canelo. Man, yeah, we still alive.
There we go.
We got.
Hold up, man. Hold up.
Stephen A. Smith says Crawford has put in the work and paid his dues. After years of being avoided, he's earned the right to go for the big fight with Canelo. He understands why Crawford would avoid risky fighters like Charlo or Boots Ennis and focus on Canelo instead.
I can respect that because he paid his dues to put himself in this position where he gets to prevent people now, to avoid people now after spending so many years of watching people avoid him. Unfortunately, that's the business of boxing. He's a victim of it, not a villain in it.
Smith is concerned that Crawford won't be able to hurt Canelo. If Crawford can't hurt him, Canelo's power and persistence will be a problem. Smith still believes Crawford is the better boxer, but he questions if Crawford can stay safe from Canelo's power.
And if he doesn't hurt Canelo and can't hurt Canelo, then Canelo keeps coming. Similar to how he stalked Charlo, how he stalked, once he had Plant hurt, he chased after him. Canelo is a very powerful individual who can get exposed by a boxer because every shot he throws, he's trying to make it a power shot.
Smith thinks Crawford will need to avoid Canelo's powerful punches to win. He questions whether Crawford can stay out of range and continue outboxing Canelo without getting caught. If Crawford doesn't hurt Canelo, it could be tough for him to keep Canelo off.
To me, can Crawford hurt him? I would pick Crawford to win if he can box and stay away. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. And if Canelo catches him, it could be trouble. But I would still say it would be a very interesting fight. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. And I'm wondering whether he could stay away. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But if he can't hurt Canelo, you can't keep him off of him. And that's where the problem lies.
Sena Agbeko talks about Terence Crawford's skills, strength, and consistent training in Colorado. He says Crawford is a strong fighter, but doubts Crawford can handle Canelo's power over 12 rounds. Sena thinks Crawford's smaller size could be a problem and doesn't believe he can outbox Canelo the way he did Errol Spence.
Terence Crawford is very, I really have a lot of admiration for him. He's very strong. I've seen him weigh as heavy as 177, so I know that it's not like he's coming in light, super light. He's very skillful. He's trained consistently at a high altitude in Colorado, so I know that he has really good wind engine. I've seen him deadlift some 400 plus pounds, so I know he's really strong. The question is if he'll be able to absorb Canelo's blows over 12 rounds, and I just don't see him picking Canelo apart the way he did Errol.
Stephen Edwards thinks Crawford could beat Canelo by outboxing him and winning a decision, similar to how Leonard beat Hagler. He believes Crawford's movement and ability to adjust during a fight would give him the edge. Edwards is confident Crawford could frustrate Canelo and win, even if people criticize him for not engaging directly or running in the fight.
I think he's operating at that savant level, and I don't think he could beat guys like Bibble and Beaterbev. I think that's just too much. Like if somebody was talking crazy, I don't think he could do that. But Canelo is a great fighter, but my eyes tell me he's slowing down a bit. The Canelo that fought Berlanga 3 years ago, Canelo knocks Berlanga out, bro. That's not a fight. That's a public execution. The fact that he let Berlanga go the distance, he let Munguia go the distance, he let Charlo go the distance. I can't help what my eyes see, but I think that that's the one guy that Bud could jump up and wait and beat. I don't know why. My eyes just tell me that.
Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez went to London to receive the recognition of the Ring magazine as Fighter of the Year, where he met Turki Al Sheikh. There is a possibility of fighting Terence Crawford. Canelo discusses the possibility of a fight with Terence Crawford, saying it's a potential matchup, but he's unsure about it. He remains open to the idea, stating, "We'll see what happens," and that the possibility is always there.
Gonna see Canelo Crawford next?
We'll see. It's a possibility there, always. No, we'll see what happens.
Canelo confirms that he and Turki Al-Sheikh know each other, but they don't communicate often to make deals. He emphasizes that they are familiar with one another, and he reiterates that they will see what happens moving forward.
Have you spoke with Turki about that show?
Yeah,
about Canelo?
we know each other. We don't talk that much for make a deal and anything, but you know, we now know each other, and we'll see what happens.
Tim Bradley says Crawford is a great fighter, just like Usyk. He thinks Crawford can beat Canelo because of his skill and ability to outbox. He wants Crawford to get the chance to show what he can do against Canelo.
He's a great one. And I want him to get an opportunity to face Canelo Alvarez to show y'all suckers what time it is. I'm telling y'all, he got all the skill in the world to compete with Canelo Alvarez. All y'all keep talking about is punching power. It's more than that. It's more than just punching power, because he got to find a way to land that power. So, anyways, don't go running away from the fight now, Canelo. Don't run away from this fight. Take this fight. It's great money for you. Remember what you said? Easy fight, easy fight, easy fight. That's what you said. Easy fight. Well, we gonna hold you to it now.
Andre Rozier doesn't think Crawford has a good chance against Canelo. He says it would be too much for Crawford and doesn't see it ending well for him.
And I think 54 is going to be enough for him. Him going up to fighting, quote unquote, if it should happen, Canelo, I don't see that ending well. It's just too much and too far to go. But that's what it would take. Usyk is on top of the world right now.
Rozier talks about how moving up to 168 pounds would be a big challenge for Crawford. He thinks it's a tough division with strong fighters and that it would be hard for Crawford to succeed there.
So I'd like to see him take control of that. I'd give him flowers for becoming undisputed at 54 also. But I think that's going to be a tough task. There's some really exceptional 154 pounders now, and they keep knocking it out. So I think, it would be a monumental climb to go up to 68 when there's so much work at 50.
Eddie Hearn talks about the Canelo versus Crawford fight and says he'd be surprised if it happens. He thinks Canelo isn't really up for it based on their previous conversations.
I'd be very surprised if that fight happens. I think His Excellency has been pushing that fight. It didn't seem like it was something that Canelo was really up for, to be honest. And like, when I've spoken to Canelo before about that fight, I think his kind of feeling is, when I beat Crawford, everyone's going to say I've beaten a 154 pounder. Like, and he also, I think at his age as well, I don't think he wants to be fighting guys that are just moving all the time, and he wants people to come to fight.
Greg Hackett talks about how the Canelo versus Crawford fight is one of the top matchups boxing needs. He says some people think Crawford will be an easy fight for Canelo, but points out Crawford's skill and ability to step up when needed. Hackett also mentions Canelo might be on the decline physically, but is still a tough fighter.
Is that the fight that boxing needs right now?
That's just one of them great fights. You know what I'm saying? Of course we need it. A lot of people think Crawford will be beaten easy in that fight, but a man with that skill level, man, and has proven to us that he'll step up to the plate. Why wouldn't you want to see that? I want to see that fight. I think Canelo is a great fighter. I think Bud is a great fighter.
Greg Hackett compares Canelo and Crawford. He says Canelo is physically declining but still dangerous, while Crawford seems to be in his prime despite being older, around 37 to 38. Hackett emphasizes Crawford's ability to move up in weight and perform well, making the potential fight at 168 pounds exciting.
I think Canelo is on a decline as far as his attributes, like not so much his mind, but his body. He's not giving the same thing he was giving some years back. You know what I mean? The energy level isn't the same, intensity level isn't the same, but he's still nasty, he's still mean, great skills. Bud Crawford, on the other hand, you really can't tell where he is as far as his peak. You know what I mean? It looked like he's still going up. You know what I mean? But he is, what, 37, 38 years old?
Yeah.
He's getting there. You know what I mean? So can't really say with him though. That's what makes it so interesting. And we have to remember this man started at 135 pounds, and we talking about this fight to be at 168.
Buddy McGirt thinks Crawford will win by decision against Canelo, staying on the outside. First 4 to 5 rounds will be a chess match, but once Crawford stays in southpaw for 2 to 3 rounds, he'll have Canelo figured out. Canelo is still a smart, skilled fighter, so it'll be a tough fight for Crawford.
So how do you have it? Do you have Terence Crawford winning a decision? Do you have Canelo Alvarez KO? What?
Yeah. I have Terence winning a decision.
A decision, keeping it on the outside
all day long.
Easy work.
Now it's not gonna be easy. Now I think it's gonna be a chess match early. First 4 or 5 rounds are gonna be a chess match. I mean, but I tell everybody.
Buddy says Crawford will have Canelo figured out once he stays in his southpaw stance for 2 to 3 rounds. He also acknowledges Canelo's skill and smarts, but believes Crawford's strategy will give him the edge. It'll still be a tough fight though.
Once Terence Crawford stays in the southpaw stance for 2 or 3 straight rounds, he got your number. He got you. If he's switching back and forth, he's trying to figure you out. But once he stays in that southpaw stance for 2 or 3 straight rounds, he got you. But it's going to definitely be a chess match. Cause, listen, man, Canelo, I got to give it to him, man. He can fight, man.
Sure.
Canelo can fight. I got to give it to him, man. He can fight. And he's very smart. Very smart. Very smart.
Meanwhile, Crawford's pumped up about the 154 pounds division, says it's stacked with wild matchups. He's ready to face anyone who steps up to him, no hesitation.
So is there still sort of fights at 154? Obviously you're champion at 154. There's still a lot of fights out there that interest you at 154 pounds?
There's a lot of fights out there at 154, that's interesting me, that interest me. Like I said, the future is bright. The sport is going in the right direction. So we shall see where Terence Crawford leads.
Now the big question is where Crawford's next fight's gonna be. Saudi Arabia's been mentioned, and though he doesn't confirm it, he's not ruling it out either. He plays it cool, saying he's weighing all options, which makes it clear his next move's gonna be huge. Fans can't wait to see what he decides.
For yourself, I know obviously last fight being in LA under a Riyadh season show. Is it likely that your next fight will be in Saudi Arabia?
Who knows? Like I said, we got to weigh our options and see what makes sense for Terence Crawford in his career.
And then the big one, Canelo Alvarez. Crawford's all smiles, feeling the hype, but he's keeping it chill. It could happen, he says, but won't spill any details.
Loads of things going around at the moment, including a big clash with Canelo Alvarez. Can you tell us what's going on in that situation, and can that happen next?
We shall see, Who knows?
That smile's telling me something else, bro. I think it might be on the line, no?
I'm just saying, man. We can't say it's not going to happen. We can't say that it is. So, let's all just wait and see.
Terence, is it still...
Canelo drops a huge bomb, saying he's down to talk directly with Turki Al-Sheikh. No middlemen, no filters. If the deal's right, he's in. Big move, showing Canelo's all about making things happen and chasing the right opportunities. Stakes are high, and he's ready to control whatever convo comes his way.
Turki said he would like to open a line of communication with you. No middlemen, just you and him.
I never say no to business. So if it is a business for me, I'm open to talk, no matter what.
Rumors of a fight with Crawford? Canelo shuts that down quick, says he's not focused on boxing right now. He's all about family time at the moment, but don't get it twisted. This is just the calm before the storm. He drops a hint that January could kick off some serious talks, and when Canelo's ready, things are gonna get real.
Social media news floating around saying that you could potentially be negotiating with Terence Crawford directly for a May fight. Any truth to that?
No, now I'm working in other things. Now I'm enjoying my family. I'm not talking about boxing yet. So maybe in January we wanna start.
Dimitri Bivol recently shared that he's talked to Crawford about the possibility of him facing Canelo. Bivol, who beat Canelo in their light heavyweight fight, gave his take and offered some advice based on his own experience with Canelo. He's confident Crawford can move up in weight and take on Alvarez, pointing to Crawford's skills and ability to adapt as big strengths in that matchup.
Fight Canelo, you fought Canelo. Would you tell him to take the fight or not take the fight?
We were talking about him, of course.
And what did he say? What did he ask you?
He wants to fight him, of course. I asked him, do The first question, to be honest, was how was the fight? He said, I won, but I cannot see from that side.
Alexis Rocha gave his take on Crawford's skills and ring IQ, saying weight classes matter for a reason. He noted Canelo's ability to take on bigger, stronger guys, showing his toughness. But Rocha didn't count Crawford out, giving props to his technical ability and high-level game, even against Alvarez. In the end, though, Rocha leaned toward Canelo, believing his experience would give him the upper hand in a potential fight.
Amir Khan, that's my opinion.
Terence Crawford, yes, there is weight classes for a reason. Canelo is a lot bigger. Crawford has that, he also has a good size to him where he has that good size and he has that reach and he has that boxing IQ. That's the most important thing when it comes to a boxing game, is the IQ. You know, I think Crawford will hold his own very good in that fight. But I will lean a little bit more towards Canelo given the fact that he's more experienced and he's been in there with bigger guys.
Rocha also pointed out the 30-pound weight difference between Canelo and Crawford on fight night. He mentioned that Crawford would probably rehydrate to around 175 pounds, while Canelo would be closer to 180 pounds, making the matchup even more complicated.
30-pound difference.
Is it 30-pound difference?
Something like that. Canelo will be
a 20-pound difference.
No, on fight night.
Fight night, yeah.
Canelo's gonna be like 180 something.
He'll be 180
and Crawford's is gonna be what? 150, 160?
175. Yeah.
And also the power. A guy that big and Canelo's very smart, very so best feints in boxing.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it looks like one-sided, like a payday, but you know both of them and.
So you got Canelo in that fight?
Oh, easy. One hand, one leg, one eye.
Oh, shit.
Jim Lampley raised some concerns about Crawford's chances at his current weight class, pointing out Canelo's huge power at 168 pounds. Lampley doubts Crawford's smaller frame can handle Canelo's size and strength, saying that physical mismatch could be a real problem in a potential fight.
I love Terence Crawford and I want him to have what he wants. But off of what I saw tonight and what I saw in Los Angeles last month when Crawford was fighting Madrimov, I am more than ever concerned that he's not big enough.
Meanwhile, Jose Benavidez Jr. commented that Crawford is a real beast and he can beat all the top fighters. Since Jose Jr. lost to Terence Crawford and lasted 12 rounds, he thinks that he can have a piece of Terence at 160 pounds. Jose Jr. revealed that Crawford can beat Canelo because if he puts his mind in training, then he will become unstoppable. You know, I feel like anybody's beatable Canelo. You know, Crawford is a good fighter, he's a smart fighter, he's undefeated, right? He's beat the best of the best. So, I mean, I feel like he'll beat him. I mean, if everyone puts their mind to it, they train how they're supposed to train. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload. See you in the next video.